Well, autumn is well and truly upon us now, and I thought maybe I should try and capture this. This is Derwent Water in Cumbria, the Lake District in the north of England, and this is quite a challenge because I've got some really nice colours to get there, but when you choose what painting what photograph to use as your reference, you always should start with a good photograph. And what makes a good photograph for a watercolour painter, probably for all painters, but especially for watercolour, I think, is to have a nice lot of contrast. Look at these firs right here, right in the right hand side here. Quite dark colours. Bluey greens and greens here, lighter, more yellowy greens here, and we've got the challenge of the water and a nice bright sky. But the hillside, this left side, we've got lots of firs and some deciduous trees here, conifers here, but we've got this tree or this mountainside here, and the far peak, of course, which is much more muted and lovely umbers and raw sienna and sort of reds. But so I've got to differentiate that mountain part there and this part, the earlier part. And if we look closely, we can see there's lots of different colours and flecks in there. It's not just a mass, and we've got a sort of shaft of light coming there through the clouds and the warmth here. So I'm going to have a go at this. It's going to be quite tricky, but I'm going to challenge, and that's what for me is painting is to try and capture the mood of it and the moment. So I'm going to start with I think I should go with our lightest lights. Of course, we've still got to do that. Pretty much the conventional wisdom with watercolour. So I'm going to use some cobalt blue here and just have map in, I think, this little bit of the sky here. I'm using a squirrel brush here now. I'm going to see if I can keep some lighter washes. These brushes carry a lot of water. That's one of the features of them. And out here we've got some different sort of blue, so I'm going to make it a bit purpley here. And it comes right down here, so I'm going to just wash that in there and blend that a little bit. Bring that down, I think, into our mountainside a bit there. So let's leave that for the moment. Oh, actually, I can see we could. Actually, I could lift out a little bit because I need to have some whites along that margin. So I'm taking my damp squirrel brush there and lift it out a little bit. Right. Okay, is that white enough or not? Yes, I think that I could do. I think I want to get a little bit of more purple, a little darker colour. So I'm going to put a bit of ultramarine there and a little bit of crimson alizarin there. I think I need to bring this right. I'm going to leave that, I think. Perhaps a little bit more water to soften those colours. Right, let's leave it, don't fiddle with it. Then I've got this mass here. So let's get my lightest lights, which are in the middle ground here. So we need some yellows there, but with some raw sienna, I think. We'll get some light washes, I think, in some of these areas here. In that middle ground, little bits there. So I'll go to water. Just throw in different bits here, just to give me a general wash here. And along this bit, let's get something a little redder there. Or a little more orangey perhaps on that bit of the mountain as well. Right, let's go with that for the moment. Then, well, it's I think I'm going to not put a wash in as such. Fairly stiff mix with a bit of brown, a little bit of, yes, I'll try to get these greens right. I don't want them to be too vivid, certainly not in our distance here on this mountainside here. So let's just drop some different greens in here. And we've got some dark, behind these conifers we've got some different greens. And we've got the little different colours here. And this here, I think I need to get that a bit darker, so I'm going to use a bit of umber there with a little bit of green and blue. Perhaps a little darker. Get another little bit of umber, or perhaps a bit of Payne's grey even with it. Yes, I think that's what's happening here. And we've got along this peak, we've got a little bit of mountain darker there. couple of peaks here. Right. And we've got different colours here. And this bit of the foreground here, this little shingle bank cut into this lock, or not lock, we're in the Lake District, so there are lakes here. It's in Derwent Water in the lakes. I'm trying to paint around my sketched in people. So let's leave that. I'll get different colours in there in a minute. But I've got to get these tones right. Let's have a little bit yellower. Go for a bit more of that. Yes, that's a little bit better. I want it to stand out from this hillside here, or this element of the mountain. So I've got to have some contrast. Right, and we've got some nice yellows along here, but I think I need to get some appropriate colours in, so I think I've got to change this brush. This is a little bit too big, although, well, that's drying a little bit. Let's get this water done. So I'm going to use some crimson alizarin, bit of cobalt there, and just wash in here. Something of the lock here. Got to keep a nice edge there. Right, now when we've got this, I've got to go, I haven't brought this blue down quite enough. Let's step it up a little bit, remembering this is going to dry so much lighter. Right. Now, while it's wet, I ought to get a smaller brush. I've got this one here. God, I've lost the number. It's probably a 6, something like that. So let's get some darker browns going, some umber, a little bit of blue, make it a little darker, let's have a look. Yes, I think this is what we... All in this foreground. try to suggest some of the tones. Could put some darker bits in that shingle. Actually, I want that to stand out quite a bit from the water. Put some browns in there as well. Got my smaller brush here, so I've got a little bit more control there. But let's get back to the water. Little streaks here. The larger waveforms in your foreground, of course. Little smaller marks, perhaps, in there. Much darker along that edge. Let that dry. Timing is everything in the watercolour. You've got to try and choose the moment. It's quite wet at the moment, but I don't want hard edges, too many hard edges. Anyway, some. So it's drying out a little bit here, so we could go with that. And a little darker blue along there, perhaps. Right. Yes, I'm going to let this dry a little bit now, I think, and then we can come back with some harder edges. At the moment it's just sort of sinking in too much. But we've got to get in here with some appropriate greens, so let's use this smaller brush now and see if we can. That's a little bit too green, so let's knock him back with a bit of umber. All right. Okay, and again we've got some slightly different colours here on the mountain. Let's raise this up a little bit. And this middle ground, let's see if we can. There's various banks of trees here actually. So I want to try and suggest some firs. So I'm just using the shape of this brush. As you can see, it's slightly conical. This is sort of banks. I'm going to vary the colours. I've got various colours on my palette there. So I'm going to put a little bit of darker ones. I've got and up here we've got a lot of conifers as well. So let's try and suggest them. Get some browns as well. So I want to vary these greens. So yes, I think we need to bring some down here as well. We can introduce some brighter green as well. Got quite different greens, so I'll add a little bit of yellow to my green mix there. Oh, that's better. I've got to put some yellow, lemon yellow, with some of my greens. I've got quite a nice green along there. And I'm looking around where else I see that colour, and there's quite a mass in there actually of greens. But again, I've introduced some darks, constantly varying. This is a difficulty with a picture which is green, largely green. How do you make it interesting without overwhelming your viewer with green? So let's step up a few brighter ones here. And we've got and I've got, again, change it, a little bit more muted ones there. Let's make some different shapes there. And along here, well, actually I still need to bring this up. Let's get some stiff yellows and greens there. And here I've got some different shapes here. I have to try and suggest that. And I think let's put a bit of orange with some of this green. Yes, I've got some greens in there. I've got some greens here on that mountain side there. Again, trying to differentiate these different planes. Let's get some darker, some ultramarine along with my green mix. I want to try and get some different shapes as well. I've got some quite dark bits in certain areas. Is this dry it up a bit? Yes. We can put some bigger marks in here. Right, how's that looking? Is that, as I said, I've got to try and keep the marks a little bit smaller here, just little faint hints at them, but much bigger ones here. Try to suggest the wind giving some ripples along the shore there. Right, let's leave that for the moment. I think actually I need to put some blue in that hillside. Blue tends to push it back a little bit. And I think this needs to blue it out a bit. Bring this down. And elements in here. Just different colour. In the foreground we've got some nice orange as well. And I can go with that. Oh, that's a bit darker, but we can go different levels of orange. I'm just thinking I've got and some yellow. Let's get a bit of ochre, I think. We don't want to overdo it. Right, so let's get straight in now and get some of these darks in, because as I say, we've got to have these darks, otherwise we won't appreciate our lights. So I'm just going to whop this in. That comes right down here. It's quite a mass of dark actually. Mainly comes right down here. Got more there. Let's get some bluey green going. So I'm going to put a bit of hookers there. Right, a little bit too green there, so let's get some umber, take that down a little bit there. use some of these other greens as well. I want to put dark greens against lighter. So there's quite a stand of trees there. Let's get some of the oranges going. Orangey green, or with a hint of it anyway. And actually I can see some nice greens in against there. So there's a contrast. Going with some more detail on this tree when it dries a little bit. And here I need to put in some different colour there. I think I'm just going to map in now. We could have put in different colours. Let's get some different shapes. I think I need trying to give some different colours. Let's drop a bit of some nice cadmium yellow into that. Let's see what that does. Maybe. Now let's think. We've got to got a little bit of shadow being cast off here, and so I need to work on this mountain a bit more though. I think we need to shape it a bit better. So we've got quite a hard line actually against our sky. So let's make sure we've got something of that can serve us well. Actually, I don't think we've got enough yellows and oranges. It is autumn after all. Let's get a nice cadmium thick mixture. Yes, I think we can do that. I've still got sort of flecks of white there, which I ought to get rid of really. Let's put a bit of purple somewhere up in this hillside too. So I got some think we could. Right, and we need to soften off some of these transitions from one tone to the other. Got too much of a hard line. So, right, now let's get, there are some nice greens, bright greens, bottom left hand corner. Let's see if I can brighten it up a little bit. Yes, got some sort of lemony yellow there. Give me a bit of a colour shift, and we've got some in there as well. Now we've got to put some marks into our furs though, so that they read clearly as furs. But let's go and deal with this bank a little bit. I think we can improve that with a bit of that violet. Oh, I can see also we need a bit of a harder edge along there, along the shoreline. Now let's stand back a bit and see if I've got enough light in there. I'd like a little bit more light in the middle ground there actually. So let's get some yellow and see if I can just drop it in a bit there. And I think my foreground has to be darker as well. So let's get a really good thick mix going with some Payne's grey and some ultramarine. Got to make it fairly thick. And here did read a little darker because I wanted this dark to contrast with this bright yellow orange here, and we could put some darks in there. I think still got to keep it a little bit different from the tree behind, but let's get some conifer. Let's lift this a bit. Yes, this is a really bank of trees. See, I've kept a bit of light behind these conifers here. It helps me maintain the shape. I'll suggest that these are their firs. Got a few flecks of white still showing. That won't do, not in the depth of the fir tree anyway. It's a little odd bit of light catching here and there, but I mustn't do too much. Now, I think this bank needs to stand out more. Right. Now let's think, have we got opportunity to vary and put some changes in that top one? Yes, I think we need, that needs more definition, that there. Now the question is, let's say what we haven't got is any reds. Let's put a bit of red in to give us some little changes. Certainly you have them, little purpley reds. Let's get a little bit more vivid than that, I think. Let's put something down here. That's all right. And also we could give some variety in there. Let's put a bit of red. These conifers, coppery colours as well. Let's get a bit more orange. Let's take that red down a little bit. I've got to get the people in as well. Some people out on this bank here. Yes, could we do that? Let's get a nice colour going with a little brush. And yes, we've got, I notice there's somebody with a nice red. So let's get a bit of cadmium red on one of our characters here. Yes, I can do that. And then we'll put a bit of dark as well. Got some here. Right, that'll do it. Yes, how much more? We've still got some lights showing. I got those characters. Let's put a bit of different colour on this one. Make it stand out a little bit. Yep, I think they're having a good time there. All right. Now I'm looking at my water. Should I put a bit of gouache in there? I think we could. And give us a little bit of a sparkle in the far water. So yes, I think I need to add some out here. Not too much there. A little bit on here as well. Got a fairly dry brush here. Just a little bit of sparkle. Yes, I think we need to do more of that. Contrast it with these darker marks that we've made. And also, I think I'm going to step up a little bit in my clouds there. So it contrasts with this blue there. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Also, I can also have a little bit of highlight on that ridge there of the mountain. It's catching that, catching a bit of sunlight there as it is here. Got to have a little bit of water there. That'll do it. Right, have I got enough here? Perhaps we need more contrast there. I think we'll put a little bit here. A little bit of light there, although I need some variety there. So I'm standing back now and having a little squint. I'm tempted to put a bit of dash of nice green in there. And also there were some bright greens. as well. This is a bit of Viridian I've got here. Yeah, it's not too bright, so add a darker bit of pains to some of them. Just killing off some of these white flecks that I've got. Right. I could leave some of them, of course, because you want that. Now I think let's put a bit of yellow next to this. That green, that red there, very vivid green there, and I could put a bit more here, I think. Bit of yellow there, and also there are little flecks here. So I've tried to contrast the tones. But I notice now when I'm fiddling around with that bank that I've lost the differentiation between the lake, so I have to redraw that with a much darker colour there. Yes, I think this is definitely darker. And let's give a few more marks. To suggest that this is water. Yes, along that edge we can do that. And have I got any shadows cast there? Yes, there's a little bit from there. Let's put some more individual marks. Another fur coming out there. Let's add to that shape there a bit. So there are quite a, as I said, it's a very thick mass of conifer here in the photograph, of course, but our eye can see more detail. In reality, if we were there, my reference shows it as a mass, but the human eye, if we were there, we would see a lot of tonal variations, I think. So, right. Actually, I'm just noticing, should I give a little, just a hint of a little bit of blue, a sort of a glaze. So I'm going to get a little bit of cerulean. That's fairly dry now. Yes, I think we can do that. A little bit more blue. And just wash over there very lightly. a bit of blue. Right, I think I've probably done enough on this today. And of course the old adage with watercolour, less is more. I don't know. Well, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Is the best I can do for the moment without overcooking it. But having said that, I think I'm going to step up some of my white. So I've got my gouache and I'm going to really lay it on a bit there because I want that contrast. I want that white against this. Yes, that's not so bad. There's a few little whites out there for some reason. Don't know what they are. Yes, that's better. And one fluffy bit there. So again. Right, I think I'm going to leave it. A few bit of sparkles there. Okay, well there you have it. This is Derwent Water. Just this photograph was taken in the last couple of days apparently. So this is what you're going to see if you take yourself out to the Lake District. You're in for some nice colours where you catch the autumn tints. Anyway, if you like this, please give me a like and also consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost anything, just push the bell button and then you will be notified when I do some more work, and it also helps the channel grow as well. Well, thanks for watching.